Hi, I'm Anna Nicolata Starden. Thank you for joining me for Simple Confident Cooking. Tonight I'm going to be making salads and dressings, and first I'd like to say a wonderful welcome to my viewers at home, my family, my niece Simone. Hi, sweetheart. Glad you're watching. And to my amazing studio audience. And if you could, please save your questions for the end tonight. We're going to have a lot to cover, so we'll do kind of a Q&A at the end, if we could do that, please. And I'm so glad you're here. So what we're going to do is start with, we're going to focus on dressings a little bit today. They're so easy and wonderful to make at home, and just having a couple things on hand all the time makes it so fun to be able to make your own salads with whatever's on hand. I am so excited for summer today. It's so hot. We're like sweating up a storm, but it's been cold, so we're really happy for the heat, and now all the produce is ripening. So when you start with your salad dressing, there's really three main components that you're going to have. It's some kind of an oil, and then you're going to have an acid, which would be like a lemon or a vinegar, and then of course your salt is going to be kind of your main base for any salad dressing. Beyond that, we're going to get into kind of creamy or sweet, or then all your flavorings like your garlic and your spices. So, it doesn't have to be complicated. We can start off with like, this is a bowl of arugula. This is my, one of my favorite greens. Actually, my mother became obsessed with this. We lived in the Northwest, and all there was head lettuce anywhere in the stores. And so when you go to look for anything different, it didn't exist. We come to California to visit the family, and my mother would always have the mixed greens and pick through it, and like, what is that really amazing flavor? And finally one day she found it, and she's like, this one, we have to find this one. And so she made my dad grow it at home because she was so in love with it. It's just such a peppery, interesting flavor. And then this has been one of my favorite greens since I was a kid. So all we need to do with something like this to make it amazing is just drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil and sprinkle it with salt. And then we're going to just squeeze a little this way. This way. Yeah. Ta-da! Can you see now at home? And so your salt can be a lot of different things. It can be really anything salty adds that component for you. So I have these gorgeous Meyer lemons that I am so excited. They're from my grandma's house, so they're just amazing homegrown lemons. They're a little bit sweeter than typical Eureka lemon that you get in the grocery store, which looks like this. So quite a difference in size, but also this is going to be a little bit more sweet. Not like an orange quite, but it's going to still be have quite a bit of sweetness to it. And really just those three things makes an incredible flavor in this salad. And if I wanted to do just add one more thing, a lot of times what I'll do is add a little bit of like a fresh Parmesan to it. That's really, really delicious. So I have, this is a fresh Parmesan here, and all you do is just take your vegetable peeler and just grate a little bit into it. So it's going to also add a little bit of salt that you wouldn't have had before quite as much. So it'll just add a little bit more interest to your salad, and who doesn't love Parmesan? So that's salad number one. The next thing we're going to do, let's move on to kind of a similar idea, but we're going to do this with a melon instead. And so in this case, let me reorganize for a second here. In this case, what we're going to do is nearly as simple and just as delicious as well, using just a few ingredients. And so we're going to start here and just take our little seeds out. I'm so excited to have melons in season because just wait all year long for these. These ones are super sweet. They're kind of a, they'd be similar to a honeydew a little bit, but they're going to be a little bit more, perhaps, a little bit maybe sweeter, but also it's just kind of an heirloom variety, so it's just going to be a little bit different, but super fragrant, so it's just amazing. I like to cut off the rind, kind of just sliding the knife around the bottom. Just be careful not to cut yourself. If you're nervous, you can flip it over the other way. And then after you get to that point here, we'll just cut this in half and just make a few little wedges off of here. And stick these here on our plate. And let me do another half. So another way you can do it is if you're flipping it upside down here, kind of cut around it this way. It's probably a little bit safer method of cutting your melons. You don't lose fingers as often this way, which is always good. So we'll just cut off the little edges. And so, like, fruit doesn't have to be necessarily, I mean, it is a sweeter component, but it doesn't have to be sweet in your salads. It can just be adding kind of a really interesting freshness and brightness. That's what I love about doing melons. Cantaloupes work well with this salad, as well as something like watermelon. Really any melons work fabulous to do this. So now that we have our melons, we're going to kind of lay them out here. And I'll bring it up here just a second. Sorry. Let's keep your station clean. So you'll have so now we have here our little melons. And all we're going to do to this now is we're going to add a few olives. So this is going to be adding a little bit of a salty component to it, right? And I like to add fresh herbs to this. Just for color, this is a purple basil that I happen to have growing in my backyard. Any basil would taste delicious. I like to I just love my garden herbs. So I like a little bit of mint and basil with this. It adds, it happens a lot in what am I thinking, Vietnamese cooking, where they'll use basil and mint together, and just adds this amazing freshness of summer. And so it's become kind of one of my favorite combinations. And then it's also fun to kind of garnish with some flowers. These ones I have growing in my garden, so if you're not using spray, like little pansies or violets, those are edible to use, as well as these are nasturtiums. They're different colors. They're kind of red and yellow and oranges, so they just add beautiful color. But the nasturtiums are actually quite peppery as well, which is fun. They're not quite as, the pansies don't have a whole lot of flavor. They just more are just kind of sweet and add interest. And they have these sweetest little faces. I just love them.
We have some people on phone-in.
Oh, good.
It's John and Stacy Reiner.
Hi, John and Stacy.
Hi.
How are we doing?
Great.
Hi.
That
there you
looks
are.
so
Hi.
pretty.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, there you are. Do you have any questions?
Not yet, but I will let you
Okay,
know.
good. I think we'll do some at the end too. So I'm going to start with a little olive oil. This is an infused oil. It's from the St. Helena Olive Oil Company. You probably can't find this at home, but what's different about this one than a lot of infused oils is they actually press the true herbs with the oil. And most are infused afterwards with kind of a flavoring. So regular olive oil works great with this, but we'll just give it kind of a little drizzle here. And if you're kind of concerned about drizzling, put your thumb over the top and you can kind of control how much is coming out a little easier. And then I'm going to do, this is a white wine vinegar that has like a peach infusion too, so it's going to give a little bit of a perfuminess to it. It's not real sweet, but I kind of like it for that. And so we'll just give a quick drizzle with that. Any sort of a white wine or champagne vinegar works excellently with this. It just adds that acid and brightness that you need. And in this case, I would also use maybe a finishing salt as opposed to, not that you have to. If you don't have this at home, you can use what you have. But I love this kind of flake salt because, for one thing, it just kind of looks a little bit dramatic. But you also don't need very much of it, so just adding a little fleck here and there is perfect. So let's go on to the next salad. And okay, this one is going to be a big one. Okay, so this is going to be one of my absolute favorite salads to make. And I think it'll be one of yours. It's the recipe that people ask me for the most frequently of anything I think I make. So, so here it goes. This is a kind of a salad I made when it was crazy hot and all you want is just something fresh and crunchy and bright and vibrant and summery. this is the salad you need. I also hate salad leftovers because of how, you know how it just gets kind of soggy and gross, and then after the first day you're like, no, this is not going to happen again, no. This salad stays nice and crunchy, so it's one I'll actually eat the leftovers of. So cut your lettuce in half, and then I like to stick it head down and just kind of slice up the sides. That gives you really nice even slices, and it's a lot easier to manage that way. And the next thing we're going to add in here, the cilantro is going to be all kind of part of our salad dressing, but it also is sort of part of your salad. It's going to add a lot of flavor, but you don't necessarily need to put it in your dressing to still have that same flavor. You can just kind of save yourself a little bit of time and sorrow by just putting in the leaves as they are, and then you still get the same outcome. So
iceberg lettuce?
it's a cabbage. It's a green cabbage. I don't know if you can see that at home, but it's a really tight kind of a green cabbage there. So that's what we're using here. So we'll put that in our bowl too. That's enough for now. And then we're going to do just a kind of a nice rough chop of our fresh cilantro here. I love the cilantro in here. I think it's like my favorite part. Just gives that wonderful freshness. So I'll just use most of it, dump it in. And now we're going to do fresh corn on the cob. I use sometimes frozen works really well too, but you want to just give it a slight thaw. Don't cook it, just kind of thaw it out a little bit. This is a cool trick I've learned recently. If you want to, you can just cut this bottom part of your corn. I forgot to sharpen my knives first. That's my fault. This is why you need sharp knives. Just like we learned in our last lesson. Corn's the worst to cut too, so we're gonna flip it around. Never mind. That's why you need a sharp knife. But anyway, you can see it actually is a lot faster to cut the corn off that way. So now we have our clean corn on the cob here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of slide my knife down the side of here and get all the kernels off of it. So I think I love the freshness of just corn right off the cob. I think it's just has amazing flavor, and you can see the juice squirting on me. That's how fresh it is. So we'll just stick that in there, and it's not too much to it. The kernels can kind of wander on you a little bit. If you cut it in half first, I'm not going to do it but I would cut it in half right here. Then you have two flat ends that are really easy to cut down the sides of it. I didn't sharpen my knife first, so it will be not fun to do that today. But at home, that would be a really easier way to do that. And so now we just put our little corns in here, and we're on to the next. We have a jicama here. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but jicama is something that's used a lot with South American, Mexican cuisines. And it is similar to a watercress a little bit. Kind of has a lot of, it just has a watery kind of crunch. It's sort of almost like a radish or something. It has a really amazing, also has hardly any calories in it because it's mostly water. That's always nice. And it's just a really nice crunch to add to your salad. So I think that's another thing I love about making this. Again, it's kind of one of the more difficult things to peel with a peeler just because it's kind of an awkward shape and it's quite firm. So I like to just set it down and just cut against the cutting board. That way you're not in danger of cutting your hands or anything, and just chop off the bits that you don't need. So that gives us a nice bit. Perfect. And if you're making this at home, you can start it off. The other thing I love about jicama is it soaks up whatever you stick it with. So if I'm making this at home, maybe taking a little bit more time, I'd mix up maybe my salad dressing ahead of time and just dunk my my jicama in there, and then it's going to soak up all that amazing flavor. So it's almost like croutons for your salad, where it just is going to add in little crunchy bits without the guilt of the butter. For those of you following me on Facebook, you think that I eat butter every day, which is probably mostly true, but I also have to eat my salads too. So it's good for all of us, even though butter tastes better. So then, so we've got our jicama in there. And then the other things I would add in here is like, works really great would be corn. If you're doing like not corn, chicken, black beans, avocado, they all go really well in here. The other thing, I think I'll put maybe just a little bit of jalapeno in here just for a little bit of spiciness. You could do chili powder as well. But I don't know, I kind of like just little bits of this. Now, how I would do this at home is that I really wouldn't probably mix the salad dressing separately on something like this. I don't find that you need to necessarily if you kind of just pay attention to what your salad is telling you. So here's how we go. We're going to start off with some cheese. Can't be good all the time. This is a queso fresca. So it's kind of a fresh cheese similar to a feta. And this is going to add a little bit of a saltiness to our salad here. And then we're going to add some fresh lime or lemon. I like the lime, kind of stays on that same Mexican sort of theme. So you want them to be, when you pick them, it's nice that they have a little bit of yellow on them. They usually are a little bit sweeter and also a little bit riper. So usually you see your limes and you pick the bright green ones. You're probably going to be better off picking ones that are not so green because they'll be a lot juicier and just amazing flavor. So on a salad this size, I'd probably put about a full lemon. And I do about equal parts lime for my lime, and I do about maybe like equal parts of your citrus and your oil in a salad like this. So I've got that part in, and now we'll do a drizzle of olive oil again. And actually, in this case, you know what, I actually, olive oil works great. I like grapeseed oil as well. It's really healthy for you. Corn oil and vegetable oil is not great for you, but also just doesn't have that interesting of flavor. Grapeseed is quite mild in flavor, which I love for this because it just lets the like cilantro and the freshness just show for itself. You could also add a little bit of garlic to your dressing there. I like garlic. We're going to put some garlic in. I think we'll do good with a little bit. So these ones, you can just kind of use your knife and squish down. Oop, my board is a little... We'll just cut it open. That'll work. Oh, this way. This way. Oh, it wasn't as exciting as you'd think. All you have to do is squish it. So we're going to just take a couple garlic cloves. And like I showed you yesterday, it's really easy to squish it with your knife. But I brought my garlic press today, so we're going to use that because it's faster when I'm going through a couple more salads with you. So I just use the side of the knife to kind of squish the clove. And that way you can see it just kind of pretty well beats it up. So it's easy to grab what you're looking for and pull the little papers aside. So I like a lot of garlic, so I would probably put like 3 or 4 cloves in. but you probably would be scared of me, so we're gonna just do 2 for now, and then we'll just mix it up. I like to mix with my hands a lot when I'm cooking in the kitchen, as long as they're clean. I find it's I really like it because you can feel the texture of like how oily the lettuce is, how acidic it is, if it's not slippery. And so the more you cook, the more you use your hands and your taste to kind of see how things are progressing, it makes it a lot easier for you to judge with future recipes, like what am I looking for? What's the right balance that I need in this? So there's salad number 2. Oh, I forgot. My favorite thing, I have to add it in. Heart of palm, this is like my addiction. Okay, so there's like 10 calories in a can. Let me just start out saying that. Who does that not help out? So this is like, Heart of palm is literally the inside of a palm tree, and it's kind of sweet. It's kind of has a light crunch to it. And this way, can you see me? Oh, my heart's of palm. There you go. It's my hearts of palm. So they're literally the inside of a palm tree. That's what they are. It's like tender, kind of like a what would it be? You know, like a I'm thinking of those shoots that you use in Chinese cooking, except for they have bamboo shoots. I don't like, but they have just amazing. They're really light and fresh and just amazing. So we'll toss those in there too. And this salad, it would work really good to take for your lunch the next day. And there we go. On to the next. We are going to do next thing we're going to do.
That just happened.
We almost lost the salad, guys. You gotta love your husband to keep you in line. He's like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen, was it? Okay, let's reorganize real quick here. We're gonna do we were thinking we need to do a Julia Child shot here with all the minions under the table handing up ingredients. Today is a day I could use people under the table. So there's any volunteers, you just step right up and here, this one is what I need next. So when I want a salad to look pretty at home, if I'm doing kind of family style, a lot of times I'll do it like that and kind of mix it in the same bowl. But if I'm serving it for company, I usually use kind of a mixing bowl like this to use. And then and that way I'll do all my salad dressing tossing in here and then pour it into my serving bowl so that you have nice clean edges and it looks beautiful to serve. So this dressing that I like to do is, let me see what I need to do. Hold please, we gotta get some more garlic up in here. Hold please. Okay, so then we're gonna do now, so we've done several versions of oil and using kind of a citrus. And this one is gonna be oil and vinegar, but with a balsamic. It sounds really strange, but what works really great in this is to use garlic with something kind of sweet. So you could do a little bit of a jam. If you have fresh strawberries that are really sweet and juicy, I will kind of chop up a couple of those and throw it into my dressing. It's just going to add kind of a really neat balance. I find that if you do one without the other one, you're going to have a little bit too sweet, a little bit too garlicky. Just having those two together adds a really, really great balance. So we're going to start with just a little bit of a balsamic vinegar. There's a lot of different types. This one is just kind of your basic. Some are aged a little bit longer. In that case, they're going to have a little bit thicker quality to them, and they're going to have a little bit more intense flavor and sweetness. This is, if you have kind of one more generic, they're going to be much thinner and also less flavorful. Yeah. And we're going to add about equal parts of olive oil. Olive oil as well is one that you want to know who the producer is of it, because a lot of generic brands actually use a lot of corn or vegetable oils. They don't use a pure olive oil. This is a little bit on the extreme, but actually has a harvest date, fall 2014. So this is a very fresh olive oil where it's fresher than even I usually buy, but usually you want to look for extra virgin, and that's going to be the trick to being successful in that. Okay,
and
so
Stacy can chime in if you have questions.
yes.
Okay.
Hi, Stacy. We just want you to know that you're loved over there. Okay, so now I don't have strawberries. They didn't have them at the market, so the farmer's market where I like to get them. They did have them at the regular grocery store, but they're not as sweet this time of year. So I'm going to use some plums in here because I have them. And they're just really super juicy. I brought some for you guys because they're so good. My friend is, they're here somewhere if somebody wants to come find them. My friend gave them to me. She has a big tree at her house, and they're just, oh, they're so beautiful right now. So we'll put a little bit of that in there, and then we'll use a couple garlic cloves, and then salt. And that's pretty much all we need to make this dressing really, really interesting and delicious. So we'll do a couple of garlic cloves. When I use my my press, you can see it holds a lot of stuff, so I don't always even get all the skins off because they'll hold it inside here anyway, so that'll work just fine. And then I like to use kind of the side of my fork just to kind of mix it together. And in this case, I just kind of squish a little bit so we get the all the plum juice in here. So it's going to add just kind of an interesting sweetness to it. Kind of a little bit unexpected. And then we'll do a little sprinkle of salt on here. And then to test for flavor, I usually just put a little dab on my finger. That's pretty good. Maybe it will add a little bit of lemon as well. That would be nice to do. And I just usually put my hand and squeeze it into my hand. That way you can kind of catch the seeds. You don't need to have a lot of different devices at home to be able to I don't know, I just find them kind of clumsy and difficult to use. I rather just squish them into my hand straight in. And then we're going to add some blue cheese on here. I think has a nice smokiness and just kind of good flavor. This is one I really like. It's called Saint Agur, and it has kind of a greenish gold label on it if you were to find it in the grocery store. It's almost like a Roquefort, but it's just kind of a really interesting blue to me. I just kind of love the flavor of it. So we'll put a little bit of this in. And if you're finding that your dressing still is a little bit lacking in sweetness, certainly you can add things in there like you could put some brown sugar, a little bit of maple syrup, or a little bit of honey would help sweeten that up a little bit. In fact, I might do so right now. If I can open this. We have just depending on what you put in there. So the sweetness you can get from a lot of different sources. That's why I like kind of the idea of using something like a jam or something, because you can get a little bit of that sweetness that you're looking for, as well as adding a really interesting component. And honey, by the way, is also really great if you can find a local one. It helps a lot with your allergies. I need to be eating it more often because my allergies have been awful this year. So I'm turning into a sniffleophagus over here. Avocados, I find that the best way, if you find one that has still this, the stem inside of it, and it's always nice if you get them a little bit green and let them ripen at home because they're so easy and fragile to bruise. And I like them just so they could barely, when you press on it, it just barely gives to the touch. So you don't want it squishy, but you also don't want it to feel like a baseball. That's going to be a little bit excessive. So, and then I just cut right around the seed and twist it open. See, and then I probably bruised it on the way home, this poor little guy. But I just, when you see little brown spots like that, it's fine. Just cut them away. Just, they're not bad. They just don't have any, they don't have as nice of flavoring. And so you can just stick them in that way. And I just push my finger through kind of the bottom to push it up that way and put it right in your salad. That's easy enough, right? And we'll put maybe just, you could put a few plums in here. You can put some raspberries if you want. And what the other thing I like to add in here is some toasted nuts. So I made some last night, and there's instructions if you want to go onto my Facebook page. You can find them Facebook.com/bbrunch for how to make the nuts. We don't have time to do all of it here, so there's going to be, I just put some brown sugar and butter and a little bit of chili on these with salt. So it gives them kind of a nice flavor. So in this case, we would use just our little dressing for this one, and then we're all set. So let's go to our next one. On the side. Okay, now this one to make. I'm going to speed it up a little bit now. Okay, this is a pretty quick one to make. We're going to do now is kind of a wedge salad. Sorry, Chloe, there's bacon. Bacon's so delicious though. Okay, I'll push this off to the side. We readjust for a second. Oops. Okay, so wedge salad is just a wedge. It's so easy to make. So basically all you need to do is cut your lettuce half and cut it in half again. Thus the wedge. And then place it on your plate. So that's pretty easy to take care of itself. And then I like to do a little bit of bacon. This one is probably not quite as crunchy because I had to make it yesterday, but we do a little bit of bacon on it. I like to do some beets, but you could do some onions or like green onions or I don't know, you could do a lot of different things with it. And then we would do, I like the beets. They just kind of are a little bit fun and creamy and earthy deliciousness. Avocado works really well with this. And I like to do maybe some hard-boiled eggs too, if you have those convenient. Hard-boiled eggs are so wonderful because you can make them ahead of time and then enjoy them like all week as little quick lunches or add-ons to your salads. And this salad is really similar to doing kind of a Cobb salad. So if you were going to do a Cobb salad, what I do a lot of times is I'll chop up my lettuce and put it in the bottom of a Tupperware, and then I'll lay all of my eggs or bacon or whatever I want on the top of it, tomatoes, that sort of thing. And then take the salad dressing on the side, and then it's really easy to take to work and have lunches for, you know, a couple days. Just take out the amount that you want. That's a nice thing about iceberg lettuce, that stays really nice and crunchy. So the salad dressing that we're going to do for this one is going to be kind of a creamy dressing. So what we're going to do is start off again with lemon and olive oil, but we're also going to add in a little bit of mayonnaise. So this is going to add our creaminess. You can use a lot of different kinds. I happen to like, you will notice I don't use a lot of processed foods. Best foods is one of my weaknesses, so I kind of like it for this. But we'll add maybe a little bit of mayonnaise in here. That's maybe like less than a fourth a cup, I'd say for sure. And then we'll do a little bit of a creme fraiche, or you could use like sour cream is a kind of a similar thing that would do the same trick. So we'll do kind of equal parts of that. So this is going to be basically the same way you'd make a ranch dressing or blue cheese. The difference is that you add blue cheese. In this case, we're going to add a little bit of chipotle. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of oil and some lemon. And this is also basically how I usually make aiolis if I was to do, say, crudité, which is just kind of your vegetables, you know, something like this that you want to just have little dipping artichokes, that sort of thing you can use for this. So we just have equal parts mayonnaise and sour cream, and then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of lemon. You can see how much lemon is in this. I'm still using the same one. It says it has a lot of juice in there. And then I would add in maybe, in this case, I want to add a little bit of, just for a little spice and interest, we're going to do just a tad of chipotle and a little bit of Spanish paprika. So the paprika has a little bit of a smokiness. It is not adding too much of a heat, but they also both have a little bit different flavors, so they're kind of fun to put together. We just mix that right together, and there you have it. The other thing I really love about this is that you can add in anchovies. So if you're not a fan, or if you're vegetarian, you can skip it. But this is what would be kind of an umami flavor that just kind of adds that balance that you don't really understand why it's there, what it needs to be there for, but it definitely needs to be there. And it's really interesting if you try it with and without. I don't add a lot of it, but I do like to add a little squirt of it because it adds just this, it's of course salty, but kind of a dimension that you just don't have otherwise. So I like to just do a little squirt of that in there. And there you have it. That's our wedge. We would just do a little drizzle of this on here. Let me pull this up here so you can see it at home. And we'll just kind of, you can make it thinner or thicker depending on if you were going to dip it. It's probably a little bit thicker now as if we were going to dip into it, but it's easy to thin it out. You just add a little bit more of your lemon or your olive oil or whatever, and that's going to just make all the difference depending on the texture that you're looking for. So let's see, we'll do one last salad and then we're done. Okay, the last one I want to show you, this is going to be quite simple salad. This one is going to be with more like a, well, this one's going to be with a little bit of endive, yeah, frisee, and it's a little bit more French style. No bacon on this one.
What inspires you?
Oh, Bistro Gentil. We always get the fish salads at Bistro Gentil because they're just so perfect for summer. So if you're vegetarian, you could just do this with potatoes or potatoes and eggs. I cooked this last night, and again, there's instructions on my Facebook page. It's a halibut, and you can see it on my Facebook page how to do it. I roasted it in fig leaves and with lemon. It just has amazing flavor. You don't need that, but you can kind of, it's easy to do at home. And then we're going to just put our little frisee on the top of here. So it's really easy to assemble. And we just have a steamed potato there on the bottom. So this is going to be, it's kind of like a salad niçoise, basically, is what this will be. So we have our little pile of lettuce on here. And then what our dressing is going to be is just an oil and vinegar. Again, this time we're going to do it with a little bit of mustard. So same thing, we're going to start with a bit of mustard. So I've got maybe close to a tablespoon there. Again, we're going to have a nice generous squeeze of lemon in here. I like to use a mixture of lemon and vinegar, especially depending on the vinegar you're using. Sometimes it's a little bit overpowering. So lemon kind of adds a little bit more of a freshness to it. So we'll add a little bit of olive oil. And where is my, oh here. Oops, didn't have this one out. This is just a white wine vinegar here. So we'll do a little bit of that as well. So this is going to be a little bit of a looser dressing. And we're going to want to have a little bit of our sea salt in here. I find that if you kind of mix it together and just put a little bit on your finger and kind of taste it there, if it's salty enough there that it tastes pleasant, you usually have a pretty good balance. It's not real scientific, but it's a really easy rule of thumb. And then we're going to do some shallot. So in this case, I don't do really too much of the onion or the garlic in here, but I do like the shallot. And like we've done before, we start by cutting off the head and the tail. And then it's really easy to just pull these layers right off of here. So it doesn't give you a lot of hassle with peeling of the onions or shallots. So now that we have that piece, we'll just chop this right up. You can kind of go down in whichever side you'd like. And I flip it over after I get about to the middle of it because it's a little easier to manage it that way. We'll just put our shallots right in there and mix it right up. So that's a really nice, lovely, fresh, summery dressing that we'll do. And what I would do at home, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, so we'll have to wait and see a little bit, but a 4-minute egg. So the egg adds a really amazing creaminess to it. So literally what you do is you go to do like a hard-boiled egg, but instead of cooking it for the full like 12, 14 minutes that you ordinarily would, you only cook it for a total of 4 minutes. So the point of it is that you're going to make the white part firm, but you're going to leave the yolk still liquid. I did one yesterday because I came from work, so we're going to hope it still turned out okay. But it's really easy to do, and it just gives amazing flavor. So we're going to pour our little dressing over here. That does that. And then what I would do with my little egg now is just cut that. And, oh, good, it did work out. And just let your egg, all that gooiness is going to help. It's going to build a lot of creaminess and give you amazing flavor in your salad, and just kind of make it feel really comforting and velvety on your dressing. So there you go. Those are a couple ideas for how to do salad dressings at home. I'm so glad you guys joined me. And now I guess if you have any questions, now is a good time. So fire away. Oh.
Okay, let me fix this.
Got it? You got audio?
Are we?
And we have some people logging in on camera live.
Oh, okay.
Big time. So let's get your.
Is it okay?
Right-
You know, my
right
question is
up
just.
to.
Okay, great. Great.
James, what can I do for you?
Who's that guy? If
Who's
you had to
that
have
guy?
if you had to have one of those salads to eat as your last bite, which one would it be? No pressure.
No pressure. Oh, twist my arm. How can I choose? It's like picking your favorite child.
Okay, you're right. And then, well,
I
let me
have
retract it. Can you just go through each one and then tell us what ingredients are in there? Just like put it on
Sure.
the plate. And,
Yeah.
Because you had 6. So what was the first one?
Okay, so the first one is our arugula. So this is just a really simple oil, lemon, and Parmesan if you want to add your saltiness. The next one we did was our melon salad. And in this case, it's just melons, a little bit of a white wine vinegar, we're going to put a little bit of olive oil. I used a finishing salt on this, and then a lot of different fresh herbs, as well as olives that add a little bit of saltiness. If you want to, like a feta cheese or something also goes, or a goat cheese goes really well with that. The next one we did was the chopped salad, kind of a Mexican chopped salad. So this one, it is great for a next day salad. So this one works really great with this way.
Yeah.
And this one works really great with for just perfect crunchy, super light salad for summertime. So cabbage, cilantro, garlic, and jalapeno, heart of palm. Yes, nice bright crunchiness. And I can't reach these ones, so I have to walk around.
Looks great.
Then we did this salad here. So this one was kind of a mixed salad, mixed greens with goat cheese and candied nuts, avocado. You can put some sort of a fruit like a raspberry in there, would work really well. And then this one here would be kind of our little wedge. So you can do this very easily as the same concept you would do very easily as kind of a Cobb salad. So I like it with the bacon and eggs, and you can do chives. I like to have beets on here as well. And then our last one was our new sauce. So it's just with the eggs, and let me turn around so you can see it. We do kind of a, I have a yellow potato, a Yukon on the bottom that I steamed, just so it's easy to poke with a knife, not so that it's falling apart. And then just kind of slice that. Do it as a cold salad, and then with a poached fish, works really well. You could use tuna, you could use, most white fishes work perfectly for this. And then I like to frisee this lovely curly lettuce. It's so pretty and light, and just a 4-minute egg. There you go.
Oh, excellent. It's great to be the husband.
Thanks, it's great to be your wife. Any other questions at home or here in the audience? Don't be shy, step right up.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Chloe.
I have a question about dressings.
Yes.
Typically, when I make dressing at home, I typically make a lot, I guess, and sometimes I'll use it like the next day or save it. And I'm just wondering, how long do you usually keep dressings? Like, how long are they usually good for?
How I use dressings a lot of times is that I pretty much use them as I go. So I just usually make them like this, just like, sorry, let me hold it this way. Like I did with this one, like a lot of salads, I just pour it directly into the bowl that I'm mixing in. I don't actually even make it on the side. But especially if I'm doing kind of a creamy dressing, like this one that I did for the wedge salad, this one is going to have the vinegar in it that's going to hold it and preserve it. So you could certainly keep it at home for probably a good week or two. I've forgotten about them before, and they last longer than that, I'll tell you. Like, oh, when did I make this? I don't remember, but it smells delicious. Yeah, so because of the mayonnaise and the vinegar in here, that's going to be a preservative. So that's going to hold on to your flavors a lot longer than if you're using something fresh like your lemon or completely fresh ingredients. Great question. And the other thing is I usually make them like in a, good question. I use a lot of times too a mason jar. So if it's one that I'm going to be making for using like for a larger people and I need to make more, really easy to put the lid on and shake it up. But also good for storage. Yes. Any other questions? Hi, Brandon.
Hi,
Thanks for
Hi,
coming.
Dolph. Thanks. Along the lines of dressing, what would be a great substitute for the best foods? For the
See,
mayonnaise?
so emulsifying making it from scratch would be the best way to do that. I didn't do that today just because I think it's not totally reasonable to. I just want you to start cooking at home. That's my number one goal. So I've done that, I'm a success. So I for sure like best foods I like just because it's a mayonnaise that I always have in my refrigerator. Therefore, it's really easy for me to grab it and start anything without having to feel like you have to start from scratch. Homemade aioli or mayonnaise is actually really easy to do if you have a food processor because you're just starting with your egg yolks. You have to have good eggs to do that, your lemon and your vinegar, and actually it's quite easy to do at home. I just thought it would save you the trouble today. It does taste better. For sure, it does taste better. But also, if you like a veganese or any sort of a mayonnaise works really great. A sour cream, sort of creme fraiche works really well. And this same one I did is basically the same as a ranch dressing. If you were just, instead of adding the spices, to add like your dill and your parsley and fresh herbs that way.
Hi.
Yes, hi.
My question is really easy. I
Okay.
just really love the show. Can I take a selfie?
Yeah.
Is that... Whoa, it'd be better if, like, all of us get up.
Yeah.
Cool. Group selfie. Come on.
Grab a weapon.
Where's the bacon?
Bacon's right here.
Right, you gotta get in here, Stephanie, you gotta get in here.
It's a requirement. You
How
have
we
to.
do it. This is tradition. No, tighten up, family. Tighten up, family. If you ate your food, give her a
Grab a
hug.
knife. Grab a lemon.
Oh, wait, it's Shelly's birthday. Get
Yay!
up.
Happy birthday, Charlie.
So,
Thanks for coming.
What are you doing over
Are we
there?
taking our
Yeah, let's
selfie?
finish it, yeah.
Are we good?
Oh, it's up there.
1, 2, 3.
Yes,
Simple
simple
confident
confident
cooking.
cooking.